What's going on, Collectibles friends? Another day, it's another video. We are back. Thank you for joining the Collectibles Dad channel. Today we're going to talk about, I feel like, a pretty important topic: Marvel movies ruining Marvel comic prices. Now, before I do get started, I'll explain kind of where I operate in this space. So I collect major keys for Marvel, as well as some of the DC stuff as well. I just purchased a giant size X-Men #1 CGC 8.5, and given prices have come down considerably since the height, I'm looking to pick up these sorts of key books, some bronze, but mostly Silver Age, Golden Age type stuff. I don't dabble at all in the new ultra-modern type comics with the variant covers and that sort of thing. Not a knock on it, but I know a lot of people, they'll get the book, they'll get it graded, try to resell, and I know that there's a market to do that. I'm just not as much interested in that space. And again, not because I dislike the artists or the look or the storylines or any of that stuff, but it's just not my thing. I just focus on the old stuff, the vintage books if I can. All right, let's go back in history a little bit. Let's talk about the beginning of Marvel movies. Of course, we've got the Marvel comics that go all the way back to the early 60s with Stan Lee and the gang. And in 2008, the first Iron Man came out, and it shocked the world. It was kind of the first time that a Marvel movie had been done really well with great special effects. And then, of course, you have Robert Downey Jr. coming in, bringing in the big guns from an acting perspective and making the thing happen. And really, Marvel rode this wave with 15 years now of movies that have come on the back of this success. They've continued to build it out. But what have we ran into recently? Unfortunately, my friends, we have hit a couple of problems. There's a couple of issues. Superhero fatigue, it's clear that it's here, and there's oversaturation with all of this stuff. It's too much of a good thing to where they've had success. They've tried to build on this. I mean, I remember a time, and I know you all do, just going back a couple of years, where you put out a Marvel movie, it's probably $500 million global sales as far as tickets at the box office at a minimum. A lot of them, $1 billion globally. No problem. So Disney just pumps these things out. But again, now we've got Disney Plus shows that are coming out. It feels like every few months there's a new Marvel Disney Plus show. And comic book speculators have been riding this wave. They have been going on, oh, we got this new character here, we got this new show, this new movie. There's a lot of good YouTube content around this. It's fun. I get the speculation stuff. But it's too much. We've gotten oversaturated. I think there's only so much money to go around, especially considering the economic environment now where it's just easier to put money into a CD or a money market account and get your 5%. That's a lot of what the wealthy, the upper middle class are doing now. They're just moving money out of collectibles and they're putting it into more safe type stuff. Hence, a lot of the prices moving down in conjunction with this problem that we have right now with Marvel really not putting out a good product right now, and it's oversaturated. One big problem that I believe they've got is storytelling has gotten a little bit too focused around the multiverse and getting a little bit too creative. Why the hell are we getting so creative with these stories when Stan Lee and all of these guys have already set up the storylines for you for the most part? And I understand that, the Avengers movies with Thanos, they're based on the comic book stories, Infinity War, Infinity Stones, and so forth, with their own little twist on it. But now you just see movies coming out and you're like, why are we doing this though? When they've already got so many great stories to go back. You could make 100 movies on the back of just what has already been written and already sold millions of comic books on the backs of these storylines. Why are we creating new Spider-Man characters? Why does there have to be a new Hulk, a new this, a new that? You've got the old stuff sitting there that is so damn good. Just focus on those storylines. Use those runs and make movies out of them. They were already popular runs. My other big issue is now, of course, we've seen a lot more market speculation. You've seen a lot of spec money coming in. Now minor keys or major keys and books that really aren't that relevant, I don't think, are now becoming minor keys. This is a minor key. But we've gone too far away, I think, from just the basics. The real basics of the thing, but we've moved away from the basic fundamentals, the X-Men 1, the Amazing Spider-Man 1, the Amazing Fantasy 15. These are really the drivers. These are the big books. And I know what a lot of people will say is, yeah, but not everybody can afford those, and so they've got to kind of move into other things. And I understand that, but we've gone too far down where we're literally talking about the first appearance of Dazzler, as a book. It's a spec book. It's a minor key. Is it? Is it because Taylor Swift was supposed to play Dazzler, 7 years ago? 5 years? Why? Why are we speccing on a book like this? So when people wonder what's wrong with comic book prices and the overall market, look at all these factors. Of course, the economy plays a role. Interest rates being higher certainly plays a very large role, I believe, in it. But secondly, the movies that used to drive the spec, now the movies are starting to dry up. Mrs. Marvel or Captain Marvel or whatever it is just came out to a $47 million opening, box office opener. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible given the amount of money it takes to create these movies and then market them and so forth. And so it's kind of interesting, how are they going to pivot and move forward? And there's not a clear plan as to what that's going to look like. You know, there's a lot of talk of X-Men coming out, new X-Men movies. Are they going to do those right? Because they really need to, and I think that they need to really zero in and focus in on older storylines, like I just said, that have already worked. We don't need another multiverse. I don't need to see a new X-Men team, another X-Men team, you know, young X-Men or whatever. I don't need to see another brand of X-Men. I need the originals. Stick to the script. Stick to the script and just make the stuff that's already been written. It's not that hard, but I digress. We will have to see how it plays out. But for me personally, I look at this as an opportunity. To be honest, I think there's going to be a couple years of puddling around and kind of screwing it up, and then they figure it out. They finally figure it out, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time. And just given, again, the high interest rate environment and people moving money back into cash, not as putting as much money into collectibles as they were a few years ago with historically low interest rates, I think that there's going to be some really nice opportunities. And so I will definitely be in the market for actual key books. Key books, not minor keys or a stretch book that's a minor key, actually key stuff. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.